going to be one of the most mid NFL seasons. I mean, you just went through it with Marcus Mariota and the Atlanta Falcons. How forgettable was that season?
It wasn't fun.
I imagine that is what you're going to get with the Las Vegas Raiders and Jimmy Garoppolo.
I don't even. Yeah.
With the Raiders, the biggest question is Jimmy Garoppolo actually going to play football for this team? We don't know at this point. And if he's not, I don't have enough faith in Aiden O'Connell to say, like, yeah, this team is going to be competitive. I mean,
I feel like Jimmy's going to play. I don't think that's anything you need to worry about.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what the latest update has been, like, on his foot. Like, is he actually okay? But that feels like the biggest question mark here. Like, is he actually going to be, like, healthy
If he
enough?
doesn't, that's hilarious. That's
like,
objectively hilarious.
They might have signed, like, damaged goods.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
What happens if he can't play, by the way? Is he just a free agent?
They already have it in the contract that if
I'm saying he doesn't go back to San Francisco. He becomes a free agent.
He was a free agent, so he signed with the team in free agency. So it would just be
he would just, you know what he would do? He would wind up in Miami, and he's just going to be like, if y'all need me at some point, like, cool. If whatever,
I'll just be sitting over here on the bench.
Jimmy in Miami would be very good for that economy.
We talking about Phillip Rivers having too many kids.
Jimmy
and
Messi,
too much.
Jimmy and Messi in Miami at the same time. What a time to be alive. But I also have questions about how their defense is going to look, especially on the back end. They were horrendous on the back end, and I'm going to look up their depth chart right now.
You don't have to do that.
Their secondary right now is absolutely horrendous.
I can't name one player.
Trayvon Mayrig, that's the only one I can name.
Nate Hobbs is the one I remember off the top of my head.
Nate Hobbs.
Other than Crosby,
is their starting nickel. Duke Shelley is their starting outside corner.
I don't know who that is.
Alongside David Long Jr., who used to play for the Rams. And then you have Marcus Epps, who came over from Philly, and Trayvon Mayrig as a safety.
Well, hold on. This would only be an issue if you were in a division with quarterbacks who could actually throw the ball down the field and can attack you through the air in a multitude of ways. That would only be an issue in that particular circumstance. But thankfully, hold on, let me check my notes here. Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes are in this division. That seems like a problem.
I will say, though, Max Crosby always, like, dominates the Chiefs. So I honestly think Max Crosby is one of the best defenders in the league. He is, like, we say relentless as like a cliche a lot. Max Crosby is the only, like, true relentless player in the NFL. He plays every snap. He led all defensive ends in pass rush snaps and run defense snaps, and led all edge defenders in run stop rate. He's absolutely insane as a pass rusher. I feel like he is going to etch himself firmly into the best defensive player in the NFL conversation this year, alongside a potentially healthy Chandler Jones and Tyree Wilson, who you can be versatile with up front. I don't think their defensive line is the biggest issue here. I think it's the linebackers and secondary, you know. Again, it's going to be very interesting, especially if Josh Jacobs ends up holding out. You lose a crucial part of that offense last year. That offense took off after they went into 21 personnel with Jakob Johnson on the field and let Josh Jacobs cook. That offense went from struggling to find their identity to one of the better offenses, or at least competent, in the NFL. So now you're potentially going to be without Josh Jacobs, without Jimmy Garoppolo, with a rookie quarterback potentially playing. This all just sounds too much.
Who's their backup back? Who would be their starter if Jacobs does just decide?
Probably Zamir White. He was their guy that got late last year.
Yeah.
But this all just sounds too much like disaster for me, for the Raiders.
The only bad thing about that is, like, a very real possibility of Vegas ending up with Caleb Williams or Drake May and just ruining, just potentially destroying one of them.
The thing about that is, if they bottom out again, what was the point of hiring Josh McDaniels? Like that was the
Good
guy
point.
that was supposed to get you to the playoffs immediately. He's not the let it build guy.
Well, I don't know if any, at least I didn't. Like we've seen Josh McDaniels the head coach experiment before, and it didn't go well. Like he's ridden Tom Brady's coattails to 2 head coaching gigs and stunk at both of them.
But what I'm saying is
3 head coaching gigs if you kept the Colts that he just decided to leave.
But what I'm saying is, like, if this doesn't work, if it bottoms out again, like, if if it bottoms out, I just have a lot of questions about Josh McDaniels as a head coach.
I think majority of people already have those. But the thing with the Raiders, though, is like you're Mark Davis, you're still like McDaniels still might have like another year just because how much cash flow are you gonna? If you're Mark Davis, how many coaches are you gonna?
They don't have a lot of money. Like,
yeah,
is Mark Davis like going broke?
Oh yeah, like they paid John Gruden like $72 million guaranteed.
Yeah,
they are.
Didn't they sue
Jimbo
him?
Fisher contract?
John Gruden sued the Raiders because they wanted to hire him they wanted to fire him for cause because of all the emails and stuff.
Wait, did they not get to do that though? So they weren't able to fire him for cause to not.
They wanted to.
Yeah,
they wanted to, but John Gruden is suing them over it because he's like, I signed a $72 million fully guaranteed contract, which is so funny.
That's hilarious
in retrospect.
For him to have those horrible drafts and not do anything of note in his time there to get paid that much money.
Colton Miller, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, they are cash strapped, so they really can't do anything, even if they're really bad.
I don't think there's much you need to talk about when it comes to the Raiders. I think you're going to see very quickly that Jimmy's not going to be enough to take that team over the top. Josh McDaniels clearly has no idea what he's doing. That's just going to be a team that will look at it rebuilding in the next 2 years.
That was good. Like Max Crosby feels like a guy, maybe not this year, but like in the next year or two, who gets traded to a contender for picks. Devontae Adams. Yeah, the Khalil Mack type. Devontae Adams is going to get moved, I think, at some point before the trade deadline.
He might get traded this year. I think if the Patriots
don't ask him about it though. The man,
he loves.